kick it over to T Jump for his statement as well. Thanks very much, Tom. The floor is all yours.
So one, that's just stupid and false. Aesthetic judgments, therefore it must not be aesthetics, is just dumb because it's false. Yes, because what you just said is so dumb. So Aesthetic Judgments by Thomas Jacob, published in Enslaver Neuroimaging, literally says prefrontal cortex is one of the things that lights up when looking at aesthetic judgments of beauty. Done. It's stupid, dumb, dumbest argument ever. Oh, how are you so dumb? How are you so dumb?
It is
like,
if they do not
how are
accept
you
liberal
so dumb?
beliefs. End of faith.
So
this
dumb?
is Sam, liberal thinkers who are also
so
part of the colonial
issue. The fact that you're just ignorant of this is just pathetic. It hurts me. It hurts my head how ignorant of you are as a topic. Well, you are ignorant of everything, so it's going to be my go-to standard for sure. So
they're rolling it back.
I don't know how you're so ignorant of statistics.
You get trapped on something.
You're so dumb. Yes, because I'm more educated in philosophy than you, so I know there's nuances.
What's your degree? You're educated.
So I'm more qualified than you, objectively.
How?
Everyone can tell that. But
what's your qualification in philosophy?
The question I asked.
What's your qualification in philosophy?
Stop. Wait, go back. You're evading. You're evading the question. I asked a question. I asked a very simple question.
I hate to do this, but it's difficult.
Baby steps on logic here, Daniel. Let's go.
Okay. I mean, the condescension. Where's your degree in philosophy? Where's your degree? I have multiple degrees in philosophy. Where's your degree in philosophy?
You should ask for your money back.
Don't interrupt. Don't interrupt. Don't interrupt, please. Okay, I didn't interrupt your stupid remarks.
DL says, T-Jump, what are your educational credentials?
I started my own business out of high school, so I just audited classes because it's cheaper. So I actually have, I think, 15 college credits, and the rest are all audited. So they didn't get to the degree, but I got all the classes done. Which then
audit some more classes. Audit some more classes, Tom. You need to brush up on your these topics.
How to educate children. I just missed that class. I totally missed it. It's a difference.
Well, the fact that something causes harm is evidence that it's immoral. I didn't say it proves.
How? Just explain that one to me. How is the fact that it causes harm indicate that it's immoral? Explain that one to me.
Do you think it's harmful to, subjugate a certain race?
Why are you asking me? No, I asked you a question. How is it harm indicate immorality?
My turn to ask questions. My turn to ask questions.
This is like the entire point you've been trying to make, and I'm trying to
because it's something that's very basic. That harm is. Have you heard of the harm principle? Have you heard of how harm is calculated in utilitarianism? You're saying that harm has nothing to do with morality.
Utilitarianism isn't an moral system. It's not a moral real system. So that
utilitarianism is not a moral system.
No, it's a pragmatic system. So morality says there is an objective right and wrong. Utilitarianism doesn't. So
yes, it does.
You got this one from Karzan Sorabi. Says Tom Jump is having sex with a dead body per se morally wrong.
Not if the previous occupant said you could do it after they die. They consented to allow their body to be used after death in that way. That's perfectly fine.
It's nasty.
Next up, this one. This one coming in from Catch22 for T-Jump. Is touching a baby on the hand with sexual intent wrong, even if it doesn't cause any harm? And if it is wrong, why?
Yes, because the baby didn't consent. So if the baby doesn't consent, it's a violation of its consent, and so it's immoral.
But the baby doesn't consent to being held at all.
Yeah, so it'd be morally better if you didn't ever violate any consent ever. But we have a
so never holding a baby is better?
If we had a perfect world where no violations of consent were required, so we could just give the baby everything it needed to be an adult instantly, then yeah, that'd be better.
So mothers are immoral by carrying their babies?
No, they're pragmatic. So in a perfect world, if we didn't need to violate consent ever, that would be good. Babies don't have the ability to consent because they don't have the intelligence to.
So why is that? Why is that pragmatic? But if you touch with sexual intent a baby, that's morally wrong.
Because it's not pragmatic. It's literally the opposite of pragmatic.
Well, I think the person who is touching the baby thinks it's pragmatic.
What do you think the word pragmatic means?
It's your definitions, man. I'm just going off of your definition and the words that you're using. You don't think that a mother holding a baby is morally good.
What does the word pragmatic mean? Let's show your own inconsistencies here again.
No, I'm just asking you questions. That's all.
Yeah, and
You
I'm
don't feel
asking you
like...
questions. You make statements like, "Oh, I think the child rapist thinks it's pragmatic." What do you think pragmatic means? Come on,
No,
let's go.
you define morality as, you know, imposition of will. So I'm just like drawing out the
Yes,
conclusions of that.
yes. So imposing on the baby's will by touching them without consent is immoral. Yes. Don't need
You
to be
just
skeptical
said
of
that there is a
literally.
fact of the matter about abortion permitting it leads to a better quality of life. Did you not?
Yes,
So there's a fact of the matter about that.
yes.
Then why do you keep... Whenever I get you on being objective and there are facts about these political issues, you revert back to subjectivism and talk about liking pizza and Harry Potter.
Wait,
and then when I move to
No,
subjectivism...
no. You're making two different
Then
points
you
here.
start talking about, oh, it's an empirical fact that abortion will lead to a better quality of life, and there's no normative content involved in that.
Right.
John Stuart Mill, ask any of these philosophers.
So that's literally irrelevant.
Ban sexual promiscuity. You have to remain celibate, completely celibate, and they base that policy on the fact that there's this disease that's killing people right and left. That's a scientific fact. People and contraceptives don't work against it. So that scientific fact is morally relevant to the governmental policy to ban sexual promiscuity. This is how harm and how a kind of disease or other, you know, women and men have the same intelligence. Most atheists are subjectivists.
Yes.
And you're saying moral evaluation. It is a normative. You don't understand how quality of life is a normative. It would be shocking if 90% of atheists all liked a certain food. We would want to know what is the basis of that preference, right?
Okay.
And there's different ways to create. No, you wait. There's different ways to create consensus.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Clearly.
Literally,
your favorite food or your favorite literature, you're constantly conflating. Argue that, or we can talk about
you
moral
are the
objectivism.
one who's talking about
when you
most
talk about
atheists.
when you talk about politics. Look, when you're talking about politics, and you said that no, there's a fact of the matter that legalizing abortion improves quality that atheists have.
So again, I think you're saying that
Studies like when you light up a person's, you know, you hook someone up and you look at their brain function. Atheists who claim to be subjectivists, when they're making moral claims, that lights up a different part of their brain than the aesthetic part, or the part of the brain involved with aesthetic judgments. If you don't understand something, you don't have to say it's irrelevant. They're, you know, according to these groups of atheists, that they don't have this kind of moral objectivism. We just are running with that. You have to have individual freedom, right? That definition for.
Oh my god. So we talk about.
Oh my god, that's your response to everything. Oh my god, I'm actually capable to accept the reason of philosophy, the reason behind.
Oh my god, I don't.
John Stuart Mill. Yes, it is.
The book on liberty is not the end all be all book of liberalism. Liberalism has. Oh my god, right.
But it's not.
So it seems like you're saying
credit system that is crushing.
That doesn't. Oh my god.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Oh, it's occupation of the Muslim world. Watch my debate with Destiny. Just because you're ignorant of historical facts, so foolish, like it's. The only answer that you have to any point is to do this move and say no.
Punch a baby, you feel it's immoral.
So stupid, so stupid. Oh my god.
When we say like China. All right, so I'll break it down to kiddie logic for him because he's so uneducated on philosophy.
No, like the evidence that I'm bringing forth for you to consider is that you have to having a position on pornography or a moral position on
yes, it is.
If legalizing abortion has any moral normative content.
That's why I'm asking. So
believe in something. If you want to believe something, there has to be scientific evidence for it. This is why atheists reject belief in God because there's no scientific evidence.
Go back. Basic philosophy, but.
You don't have a consensus amongst atheists that Picasso is the best 20th century painter. There's no consensus on those kinds of aesthetic claims. Is Picasso the greatest artist? Is Harry Potter the best work of literature? On the basis of a certain reasoning or a certain ideology that is being... And there's no physical reality that exists because it's all just a figment of my imagination. A solipsist would be very consistent in that definition. But this is not the definition of skepticism that I have used in my introductory statement. The reason is that there is a lot of blind following of the dominant political ideology. In the same way that 60% of atheists, or 60% of the Chinese population is atheist. Those atheists
Oh my God.
are fully on board with Chinese nationalism. Is that because these atheists are free thinkers, or is it because they are under political domination? Or
I'm going to be clear on this. If he says Tom said, and then something I didn't say, I'm going to say I didn't say that.
What is the difference between 60 seconds? You can correct him. You'll have 2 minutes to correct him. We just got to give him another 60 seconds.
I'm telling you, I'm going to do this.
Dude,
this is non-negotiable.
I mean, you can't let someone talk because you can't follow a thread of thought.
I need you to just give him the same amount of time that you were given. If you think that he's
That's not fair.
Absolutely address it in the following statement. You can do that after his 60 seconds remaining is done. It's how debate has been done like for decades, where people would have time statements. It's how they typically do them still. It is not unreasonable. You'll have as much time as you need to rebut him, but I got to give him the same amount of time you just had.
That's fine, but I'm still going to, if he directly lies about something I said, I'm going to stop him and say, no, I didn't say that. Sure.
Why don't you show respect to someone who agreed to debate you?
I am, by correcting your mistakes.
No,
so that
you can
make the correct
you
point.
can show respect by shutting your mouth when someone else is
No,
talking.
no,
according to the moderator.
If
the moderator is telling you to shut
mistake,
up. He has to explain to you a debate format.
No.
I do want to make sure that everybody hears both of you, and so if we just break it into 60 seconds, not minutes.
I'm just ignoring you. I need to answer the question. I'm focused on the question. The question is, he's claiming.
Tom, I know that, but
I don't want to get distracted by irrelevancies. I need to answer the question. This is the entire point of the debate.
At the same time, it is reasonable for him to be concerned about being interrupted too much. Just the same way that you wouldn't want to be interrupted too much.
I'm not even saying anything. I'm asking a question. So I'm making 0 points.
Then when I give an answer, you interrupt because
it's not answering the question I'm asking.
He summoned me was
I'm asking a question, and if you answer a different question,
degree of that.
So here's the question.
Here's like what? Well, let's just let Daniel finish the last point that he was making, and then we'll come back to you for that question. This one from Bubblegum Gun says, if the Harry Potter book gave you cancer, that would be a utilitarian fact. Books don't give you disease. Sexual promiscuity can. Awful argument. T jump. You soy boy. I added the last part. Okay, so come on, Tom.
I don't understand the argument there. Like the argument. The millions of people who aren't starving
arguing with
to
a
death.
clown. Like this
that doesn't
I'm debating
contradict
with
the increase of the living wage.